Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. Just came across this news feed by KITV, I think it is, of the Maui mayor, some general, major, whatever from the military, and I keep forgetting who this woman is, but just want to show this because it shows, like, the arrogance and their incompetence. I don't know what the military guy's problem is, the way he's standoffish. Like I said, I have great respect for the military, but it just seems like everybody just doesn't want to take responsibility. It's always an excuse. And once again, this mayor walks away, and he has this woman right here, just telling people, let him speak, just like the mayor did with it wasn't the police chief. I forgot who was that first guy that resigned because of health reasons. When the reporters were trying to ask him questions, he steps up. He goes, "You're going to let him speak?" It's always like they're so damn standoffish and condescending, like pushing back. These are not people asking them questions that are trying to entrap them because of, like, their position. Like if they're trying to ask them dumb questions to make them lose the vote for whatever position they're applying for. No, these are people that have been asking questions for the past 3 weeks that are still getting no answers. But with that being said, please comment, like, share, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and hit that notification. Also, I'm also on Rumble under True Outlaw Patriot. Also, same content. If you guys can go there and support me, that'd be great. But let's get to this, and you're going to see what I'm talking about.
Best news. The first question is for Mayor Bisson. I know, and you know this, your office has come under a lot of criticism from residents. You are the highest ranking official here on the island. As part of your job, you have to communicate with the state for backup in the event of emergency. Major Hara has revealed that he did not know, his team did not know there were deaths until the following morning. If the buck stops with your office, how is that possible?
Okay, so the question is, with the quickly evolving fire, the information hours that reached Mayor Bisson compared to what reached the state level. Yeah,
I can't.
Now, just real quickly, when he was confronted over a week ago by the reporter that asked him about the children, that same woman was there. And for some reason, I'm not understanding how, somebody asks a question and then she repeats it as if the mayor can't understand what the question is. You rarely see that, at least, when I watch videos on politicians. You don't have somebody repeat the question. Like is that their job? What's the use in that? To me, that's just wasted taxpayer money to have somebody there to repeat the question you just asked. I don't know who that woman is, but I think her salary, in my opinion, would be better served if she was asked to resign that position. They would just close that position because, in my opinion, it just doesn't do anything good. He's the mayor. He doesn't need a bullhorn. He should get the question straight to his face and answer it. Doesn't need somebody standing there and, repeating the question that the reporters asked. But you'll see how she gets condescending when she says what she says next. Check this out.
Speak to what or whose responsibility it was to communicate directly with her. I am.
Let him answer.
No, I'm saying I can't sit.
That you hear in the background? She's like, let him answer. It's like, what are you, what are you, his cooler, his fixer? Like, who are you? And I've noticed that about the mayor, when he did it for, I forgot, like I said, I forgot who that person, that was the first person that resigned right after this whole thing happened. But he stepped in for him. You're going to let him answer? And then when he was being asked about the children, there was other guys around him saying, you're going to let him answer? It's like, what the hell is wrong with you people? Like, why are you people so damn sensitive? You're in the spotlight. You're the mayor. And that's it. You got to learn how to take it in the chin. And for a guy this damn big, to be so damn sensitive that he has a woman that small telling a reporter, "You're going to let him answer"? You know, is just so crass and condescending at the same time. You know, but let's continue.
Who was responsible for communicating with General Hara? That's
So
what my answer was.
you were not in communication with anybody at this point with the state? With,
No, I was in communication with the state. We were on a meeting earlier that morning on a Zoom call.
earlier that morning, but you were
Correct.
not in communication with the emergency response, the state, as that fire barreled down and in the many hours afterwards?
Well, first of all, when you say that fire, which one are you talking about? We had three
Exactly.
going on at
Well,
the
there
same
were-
time,
There were
so.
two on the Hino, the first one, and that grew into the second one, but I'm specifically
You see right there when he says, when you talk about the fire, which one? There was three of them. I don't know. Let me see. The one that killed over, I don't know, 3,000 people? Not the little ones. The ones that barrel into the big one that supposedly started the big one. And the one that everybody's been talking about for the past 3 weeks. Do you see what I'm saying? How pompous and just the condescending tone? It's ridiculous, man. And this is why the people in Maui are suffering. Because they have people like this in power. Him, the governor, the police chief, all these people. It's like, you know what? These people voted for you. These people's their tax dollars pay your salaries. And you have given them barely anything, any words of comfort as far as any kind of answers or anything to help them. And you're going to get offended when people are coming at you, okay, with the hard questions, you know, asking, you know, bluntly and aggressively. It's because you have provided nothing for them. Not the reporters, not the victims, not their family, nothing. Other than close the place off, everybody get out. I mean, they already arrested a man for going into the zone to check out his property to see what he lost. He got arrested for wanting to go back and check out where he used to live. Who knows, maybe to see what he can salvage. Like, who's making these calls? Who are these people answering to that they're so standoffish? But let's continue.
talking about that time period where hospitals were packed, social media showed the fire, showed people running for their lives, and yet...
Well, I wasn't on social media, so I can't speak. First of all, I'm not going to speak to social media. I wasn't on social media. We didn't have time for that. But I'm referring to the fire that was going on in Kula, not the two fires in Lahaina as well.
Lahaina, which is why we're off here.
Well, I'm going to answer your question. I don't know who spoke to General Hara. That's my answer to your question. And that's for all four of your questions.
Okay, so my question is for now,
Well,
General Hara. I would like
first,
some clarification.
you're gonna let us answer.
You know, he's saying, I don't know who answered, you know, who spoke to who. It's like, you're the mayor, man. You mean to tell me that these fires were going on and none of yous were in contact with each other, knowing that, number one, there was a hurricane on the horizon, okay, or out to sea, 300, 400, 500 miles, okay, hurricane winds blowing. Okay, whose job is it to take care of that? Okay, now you got a fire. Whose job is it to take care of that? Now we got a situation that maybe we should start warning people. Whose job was it to take care of that? I mean, they put the word out to send the kids home from school. And by the way, there's more footage coming out of new footage of people on their cell phones, okay, saying that they know for a fact that there was kids in school and parents were called to come pick their kids up. So the whole thing that the media is saying that school was closed for that day is turning out to be bullshit now. Because now there are people putting video out, people in tears, okay, saying that no, there were kids in school and they were calling parents and parents are coming to pick them up to bring them home. And some parents dropped their kids off at home and went to work. This is a question that I was trying to figure out. But the media is saying that no, school was closed. They canceled it that day First, it came out and said they send kids home from school. Then when that didn't work, because they're like, well, wait a minute, why would you do that? Then it came out and said, no, we had canceled it. No kids came to school. Now the school's back open again. Now they're saying there's over 2,000 kids that haven't reported to enroll, to sign up or enroll. It's like there was no community. It's not that there wasn't. I believe there was. They're making it. They're basically pulling what I call the Obama rope-a-dope. When Obama was president and all the chaos was going on, he would always come out with this condescending answer and say, well, yeah, when I got up, I heard it on the news or I read it in the paper. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, how long are you going to ride that freaking pony? You mean to tell me you're the president of the United States? There's all kinds of stuff going around in the country and around the world that you need to know about. And they just let you sleep like a baby? They didn't tell you anything? None of your intel, none of your staff members, nobody came to you. So the governor doesn't show up at one of the meetings, okay, on the last video that I showed you. And he was the one that put that meeting together. This mayor says he doesn't know who spoke to this general. Okay. Meanwhile, the person that was in charge of the water took it upon themselves to turn off the water, all in the name of equity, inclusion, or whatever the hell he was thinking. Which I call bullshit on that one. And then the guy, the one that was supposed to be in charge of, putting out the sirens, he just so happened that the day right after he had his news conference, okay, his press conference, he resigned due to health reasons. Does anybody see what's going on here? I'm sure everybody does by now. But let's continue.
Right?
Was that?
Are you going to let us answer the question? Let me clarify some things when the mayor is trying to answer and you're rudely interrupting. At first point, I'm Major General.
You see that? You see the condescending? I mean, he is such. I mean, I tell you, it's enough to make somebody just want to chew glass or spit nails, man. Let's listen to what this sucker has to say. I'm sorry, people. I'm trying to clean it up.
Let me clarify some things.
Now let's just go back.
Okay, so my question is for now. I would like some clarification.
You're gonna let us answer it, right?
Was that?
Are you gonna let us answer the question? Let me clarify some things when the mayor is trying to answer and you're rudely interrupting. At first point, I'm Major General Kenneth Hara, not Major.
And that right there is like, he said, let me clarify something because you're so rudely interrupting. Excuse, and then he has to make that little smirk with it. It's Major General. Listen, at this point, like I said, I support first responders and all that. I support the military and all that. But when you have somebody pompous like this, I can give a rat's ass about your freaking title. Because you know what? Your Major General title did nothing to save people's lives. Nothing. Okay? And I'm not trying to offend anybody that was in the military. I come from a very big military family. But to come out like that, let me tell you something. Any person, whether you're a doctor or in the military, police officer, or just a regular civilian, whatever the case is, there are times that you need to just shut up and listen. Nobody is above reproach when you come out and say, well, I made it this high, so I don't have to listen to you, peasant, and you are going to address me by my title. No, guess what? Okay? Because it was the peasants that suffered. No military was hurt. No fire department was hurt. No police was hurt. No ambulance workers or emergency responders were hurt. No, it was the peasants that were hurt. And the reporter is trying to get answers for the peasants. Because all the major generals, the mayor, the governor, the water guy, this guy, that guy, this woman, that woman, nobody did a damn thing to save the people of Maui. And over 2,000 children. But let's continue.
So I didn't say, well, I said I didn't know about the deaths the following morning. I didn't say the county was not in communication with me. We're looking at whatever response the state could do, but because of the winds, we couldn't start our helicopters and we couldn't launch them in commitment. We're ready. We're ready to go. So the narrative you're pushing is not totally accurate.
Don't you think, it's not narrative, don't you think it was important for your agency to know about the deaths 12 hours later?
I don't think I could have done anything about that.
You don't think there was any way that people could have been mobilized to maybe help prevent? We don't know how many other people maybe died waiting for a response. You don't think there's anything your agency?
I personally don't think so. With the time, the rate that the fire spread, but I talked about this previously, is 60 to 85 miles per hour. You think about that.
You know, he's so full of shit because within a day, I think it was 2 or 3 days after everything settled, they cordoned off that whole area. I mean, they put up fencing and barricades. I mean, like literally overnight. I mean, they even brought in a lot of videos you see on the highway. They even brought in boulders and put them on the sides of the road. Okay? I mean, like in orderly fashion, so people can pull their cars up to the edge so they can look down towards where the fire affected the most in Maui. Now, of course, it was after the hurricane, but nobody, the weather people, the military, nobody seen those hurricane winds coming? Did anybody even get mobilized enough? Forget the fire for a minute. Let's just forget the fire for a minute. Was anybody prepared that if supposedly this all happened from hurricane winds, was anybody prepared that if it was just a hurricane that was coming by and the winds would have started causing damage? Was anybody prepared to say, are we on call and let's watch these winds just in case if the winds start doing damage? Blowing over poles, maybe a couple of gas stations explode. You see what I'm saying? So you got on the military level, on the state level, and on the government level, and the local level. Everybody fucking failed to do their job. And I'm sorry, I said I wasn't going to curse, but you know what? I'm going to let that one go. But all these agencies failed. They all failed. But let's continue and finish this off.
That's a mile a minute. From and even the fire department that was there on the ground that almost perished, didn't know how deadly it was and how quickly it's going to spread. Let me finish, brother. Right?
I'm just saying the timeline. We've been looking at the timeline.
What I'm trying to say is that fire was so rapid, and by the time everyone had situational awareness, it was too late, unfortunately. So that's all I'm trying.
And that's it. You know, and no, that's bullshit. Okay? Because people are talking about that the police department were turning people around. In the last video I put before, you heard 2 more guys on the video that I put out that they said they were being routed into a dead end. They were being told where to turn. They were going in circles. So the police department failed. I'll say it again: the police department, the military, the governor's office, the mayor's office, the local, the city, the local, all that, the waterworks. I don't know what position that buffoon held. That he thought water was more precious than human life. You know, the guy that was supposed to be in charge of putting on the sirens for whatever catastrophe. First, he freaking lied and said they never run those sirens for that. And then when they look at the guidelines, okay, of what those sirens are for, one of them is for wildfires. And he didn't even do his job. So they didn't warn the people with no sirens. The military wasn't prepared. Okay? He should just say that. He should say, you know what? I mean, they told us about it, but we didn't really We didn't, get the troops ready because we thought it was just going to be hurricane winds. That I could believe and say, you know what? That's understandable. But for the mayor and the governor not to get together and say, wait a minute, we've already got one fire going. You heard the mayor. He said there was 3 fires. Supposedly one or the first 2 were the ones that boiled up and to start the big one. If you already seen that there was a fire going, why didn't you jump on the phone and say, let's start putting out some emergency alerts? Because the people already said it. There was no emergency alerts. Nothing on the phone, nothing on TV, nothing. On top of no sirens. Okay? Which that right there in itself could have just saved so many people's lives. Whereas the police chief could have said, listen, we got to start finding a way to evacuate people just in case this gets out of control. This is why I say, you know what, people, this was a coordinated effort. This was a coordinated effort, and like I said, somebody has the video out there that's gonna bring this all coming down. Either somebody has the video or somebody's gonna come forward that's gonna bring that deck of cards down, man, that house of cards, because it all sounds too incompetent. Too incompetent. And for people to hold these positions, for this general, major, whatever you said, major general, whatever, I mean, I don't understand it. They're supposed to be better than all the first. The military is supposed to be better than the police, the fire department, EMS, all in one. They're supposed to be there, ready to go. That's their job, just in case. But yet there was another fire after Lahaina that they sent in with a coordinated effort with some military personnel, and they took care of it right away. Which they said it was further up in the mountains, but they had a coordinated effort. Everybody got together. They took care of it right away. Really? After the fact? Really? Okay. But anyway, I'm True Outlaw Patriot. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, pass it around. Don't give up, people. Don't give up on the people in Hawaii. They're literally an ocean away, man. I would never wish this on my worst enemy, nothing like that. But I tell you what, if my worst enemy went through something like this and I could drive to where they're at, I'd go help them. Like I always say, man, at the end of the day, life is precious. These poor children. And I'm noticing more news media doing more, interviews with these higher ups, and if you notice, like, every other news feed is about the children. Before it was every feed, now it's every other. They're gonna try to phase it out. Don't give up, especially for all those children that are still missing. But remember, stay vigilant, keep praying, and keep praying for each other. Peace.